deal with the uh, democracy as a term just imported from the West, because when people just enforce us, they said, this is democracy, you should follow our example. And unfortunately, there is a lot of people who are from inside, and they believe that the democracy should be like this. How could we just try to be able to convince them about the Islamic vision toward democracy?
First of all, I think that we should not convince people of anything. And second of all, we must not let people drive us to wherever they want. See, we have the Quran and we have the Sunnah, and they tell us what our objective is. We must not allow others to interfere in our lives. We must not allow others to dictate to us what to do and what not to do. This, as Muslims, is the rule of Allah Azza wa Jal. Now, when they come to us and say that this is the best practice, democracy is the best practice, and you should implement this in your country, it's very easy for us to question this. Because if we look at the West, and again I mean the non-Muslims, whether it's in Europe, States, or whatever, if we look at the level of democracy there, we find that it does not exist. First of all, it's not more than 300 years old, I think, even less, since the French Revolution or whatever. So it's not that old. And you cannot come and say that, well, something this young is good for all. You don't have one size that fits all. And again, it's not applied in the West itself. For example, you have a country that claims to be democratic having two parties. Is that acceptable? I know that there are 6 or 7 or 10 different parties, but they are not qualified to go into the ballot or to go into voting system. And again, you cannot expect that in these countries, those who protested against the war, there were millions of them. And in accordance to the game of democracy, the people are refusing their countries to participate in the war against Iraq, in the search of massive destruction weapons,
of mass destruction, and so on.
Whatever. So why didn't they follow their democratic rules by going into the polls and making surveys and seeing if the people want to go and participate in the war or not? So they claim they have democracy, but actually they, in my opinion, they do not. It's just a tool, it's just a hammer used to hammer those who do not follow their policies. So it's a dirty game. Politics is a dirty game. They keep putting the pressure on countries to follow their way of life, their way of living, their ideology, and in Islam this is not acceptable at all. In Islam we have our society, we have our rulings, we have the things that are permissible and the things that are not. Islam is a way of life, and we don't have to import anything that dictates to us that you have to live in this form of way or manner.
Yunus, you had something to say?
Okay, Sheikh, let me ask you a question. Was democracy in the Islamic meaning was applied by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, والسلام, and his companions? And give me some examples showing that.
Okay, well, what is democracy in the Islamic meaning? I mean, just the right to, that there are rights for the ruler and there are duties for the ruler, and the other way around with the citizens. Is that the meaning in Islam? Is that the meaning of democracy in Islam?
Again, it's not this clear cut that you cannot say, well, where's democracy in Islam? You cannot come and say, okay, where is art in Islam? Because then you have to identify art.
What art is or what...
Yes. So in Islam, we have a concept that is called the shura. And it comes from the word tashawur, which is consultation and delegation of opinion and powers. So in Islam, we're told in the Quran that the rule among the Muslims is by consulting them. And again, this consultation is to come up with an opinion. And this opinion is not a must to be applied. It's just an opinion. So in Islam, we have the Shura Council that gives the ruler their opinion, their research results, so that he would choose whatever he sees appropriate to be implemented. In democracy, we have, again, the Congress, the Parliament, or lower house, the upper house, coming up with resolutions. And then the president, or who is ever on the top of the pyramid, has the right to veto it or accept it. So again, we don't have 100% proof democracy as they propagate. In Islam, the Council of Shura, who gives the consultation to the ruler, is comprised of the elite of the society, such as professors, scholars, men of intellect, businessmen, those who know what they're doing. It's not a matter of the money you have. It's the consultation, the wisdom, the knowledge that you can add value to the ruler by your consultation. So this is the Islamic, again, I cannot say Islamic democracy. So this is the Islamic concept of consultation and getting the experience of the people to benefit the ruler in making the best decision.
Yunus was also mentioning...
Okay, Sheikh, from your opinion, is the democracy applied in the Islamic world at first and the whole world as a whole?
This is a political question again, and I think that to answer it, you have to be indulged in the political system, or let us rephrase that, in the political game. And fortunately, I'm not. But I can tell you, by observing what's going on, we have in the Islamic world countries that claim to be democratic, and they are as far as democracy as they can be.
Democracy in Western terms.
Of course, in the Western terms. For example, in some Muslim countries, a woman is banned from covering her hair, her head. She's banned from covering her, wearing the veil, not covering the face, just simply wearing the veil around her head, covering her hair. She's banned from doing this, and if she does this, she cannot go into universities, she cannot go to schools, she cannot work in public places. Now, where's democracy in this? This is what I choose. Where's the freedom of speech? Where's the freedom of practicing your religion, which Islam allows you to do so? So it's even a higher grade than the so-called democracy. In Europe, for example, very recently, a very famous European country banned the wearing of hijab and religious symbols, so they claim, in public schools.
And schools as well.
But it's okay for you to wear the cross as long as it's under your shirt. And why is that? The only thing that is banned is for a woman to cover her hair. Okay, then what happens if I'm a student and I have a beard? Growing a beard is a must in Islam. So does this mean that you will